tell us about yourself?
You want my whole story? Well, the part of it that was in Vietnam is I volunteered for the very first part of the Swift Boat program, which was in 1966. Yeah, I had been on a heavy cruiser in San Diego since 1963. I made Lieutenant JG. I was able to be the skipper of this boat. I had a 5-man crew, and we deployed, as I say, in March of 1966, and I came back in March of '67 because it was a 12-month obligation. We started out by patrolling the coast of South Vietnam, basically the South China Sea there. But after a few months, it became pretty obvious that the major infiltration and so forth was interior. And so we got deployed into the rivers to interrupt the Mekong Delta. Runs from just south of Saigon to the coast there.
How old were you?
Let's see, I was 26.
Ah, very young.
Yeah.
Lieutenant JG, very
my
young.
second in command was a chief petty officer. He was 27, and everybody else was either 18 or 19. The other 4 members of the crew.
Do you still remember their names?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know a lot of their last names anymore. I could probably look it up, but yeah, for a year there we were basically family. I mean,
a year in Vietnam.
Yeah, because the on the boat, it was supposed to be 1 day on, 1 day off, and then another day to refurbish and so forth.
Yeah.
But some of the boats got badly shot up, and the crews and the responsibilities became heavier. So what it degenerated into was basically 24 hours on and 24 hours off. And actually toward the end there it was more like 32 hours on and 14 off.
No sleep.
But yeah, so you lived, this is only a 50-foot boat and 9 feet wide, so you're lived in pretty close quarters. We were pretty lucky. We got shot up some, but only one of my crew members got badly wounded, and I was able to get him evacuated straight from the boat into a helicopter out to the thing, which was good because it saved his life.
Yeah. How about you? You didn't get hurt, did you?
No, not a scratch.
Oh, that would be a miracle.
And I was extremely lucky.
So where else did you go besides Vietnam?
What did I do in my military career? Basically San Diego. First Fleet, the commander of, what I mean by First Fleet, the naval deal, which has command of half of the Pacific, basically. We cruised, up the coast to San Francisco several times, Hawaii a couple of times,
Did you have
just
fun
just
in Hawaii?
basically around the west coast of California.
Okay.
So I did that for basically 2.5 years, and then spent my year over there, and then I had 6 months back here before I could resign my commission and
Oh, I
go
thought
back
you.
into civilian life.
Oh, I thought you were a skipper for a retired skipper. Yeah.
And
That's
no,
what
we
I
just
thought.
called ourselves skippers because we were in charge of the
Yeah.
boat. Aside from the trips on the heavy cruiser, we had a week. Uh, what do they call that? Rest and recreation week or something in while I was over there, and so I had never been any place in Asia. So now since I got out,
That's a
I was
different
in rare
story.
coins and precious metals for a while, and so I went to South Korea and Hong Kong and so forth, but not while I was in the Navy.
Well, when you were serving, was there a lot? You know, I know that you made a lot of friends. Do you still have these friends? Make contact with these people?
Just a couple. You realize I'm 82 years old now, so um, most of the people that I knew in the time, we were separated fairly soon after I got out, and it's only been a couple of times that I've run into people that I knew then. I'd like to sometime, but it's kind of difficult, really, when you go that far back to trace people who didn't stay in. They
Yeah.
went someplace else.
How old were you when you enlist?
When I went in,
Yeah.
well, let's see. I went to college when I was 18, graduated when I was 23 to 27. Basically, I was in the Navy.
I see. If you have to give an advice to our young military members, our new recruits, military members,
New recruits.
yeah, what kind of advice, or what advice you would
Would
give them?
would I give them?
Yeah.
Well, I would say listen carefully to what they're trying to tell you, the people who've been there, because not only can it save your life, there, but it's usually good advice for the rest of your life. It really is. People who have been through something and are willing to talk about it, then it's usually good advice, almost always. Listen carefully, think about it, and try to pursue those routines and goals and so forth, not only in the service, but for your whole life, really.
Is there anything else that you want to share with us? Tell us.
I would say that the one piece of advice that I seem to remember from then that I've tried to apply is, whenever someone else really is trying to help you, don't be offended or push them away just because you don't want to hear that. Try to take it in, think about it, and probably it's going to turn out to be something that you can use, so it'll be beneficial to you. So don't push advice or advisors away, but take it in. I would say would be the main thing I would think of.